right into it. So we're back with our podcast. In the house, we got Ed Dumas, we got Candace Kydd-Bailey, David Toledo, and we got a special guest, Tamika Moseley.
Sorry we've been gone so long. David stubbed his toe, so we had to take a couple week break.
It was a kitchen accident.
But anyway, we have Tamika Moseley here, and so I brought her here because she's like Dr. Sebi. So, and she's here in person for us, and we're just blessed to be able to have her and share her knowledge and information with us. So, with battling any illness, Tamika is into natural herbs and anything that will help you and your animal naturally. So we just thought that we'd like to bring her on the podcast and share this information with everyone. And so say hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
And so David and Ed are still here. And we interviewed Tamika for the magazine. And so we'd like her just to tell some things about what she's doing. I feel like she's saving lives, and this information can be life-saving for a lot of people.
Yep.
So it's a serious topic. Everyone's into health and wellness now. And so with all of our experience, we'd like to just bring her to the table and have her just share a little bit about herself, what got her started, and why she is into health and wellness at this point in her life.
Okay, yes. So I started this journey back in 2008 because I had a child born with a fatal blood disease called sickle cell. And that was the beginning of this entire journey. So, having a child born with a fatal blood disease, it just changes your entire life. It changes everything, the way you think about every single thing that you do. And at that time, I didn't know anything about sickle cell, just what I saw growing up, seeing the people dying, kids dying. And I even knew people, siblings who passed away. So it was a very touchy subject with me because all I knew was it was just death, and that's all I could relate to it. So just the whole journey with seeing how my son suffered so much the first year, and how the medical system only have like cancer medications, it was really no real help or real answers, right, to really help people. It just seemed like it was just to treat symptoms.
Can you explain to us what sickle cell anemia is in case our listeners don't understand, and what populations are affected by sickle cell?
Yes, so sickle cell is an inherited blood disease that affects the red blood cells. It's when a person's body does not produce enough red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. So your red blood cells lives 120 days. So you have plenty of time to make new ones. But in sickle cell, the red blood cells dies off every 10 to 20 days. So they don't have time to keep producing more. So because of that, the blood gets stuck in the vessels because, healthy cells are perfectly round. But when there's no oxygen, the hemoglobin is severely low because they have abnormal hemoglobin as well. It becomes a sickle shape and gets stuck in the vessel. So when you don't have blood flowing, chronic pain, organ damage, strokes, and death can happen.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. And people are affected with sickle cell. People who come from Africa, majority of people are in Africa who are suffering from sickle cell. People from Panama, South Central America, India, they call it thalassemia, but it's still the same thing. And Panama, also Greece, Turkey, Mediterranean areas as well.
Can you develop that later in life, or is it some? Okay, so it's something that you're either born with.
Yes, so it's genetics.
Okay.
So like you have AA genes, because whenever a baby's born, you take one gene from the mother, one gene from the father. But in my case, I have AS, so I took A gene from my mom and S gene from my father. And my husband, he has SC, so he took S from one of his parents and C from another parent. So now when we have babies, well, they're going to take one of my genes and then one of his genes. So my first child took my A and his C, so she has C trait. And then my second child took my S and my husband's S, so he has SS. Both genes are sickle, doesn't produce red blood cells at all. And then my third child took my S and my husband's C, which is SC is still a form of the disease.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, for somebody, can you have sickle cell and not know you have it? And if so, what are the signs?
Well, in this day and age, they test all the babies, so you should know. But now, in certain places in Africa, they still don't know because they don't test. But some of the signs will be, like in infants, swelling of the hands or the feet. Just pain, pain.
Well, I'm wondering, like saying somebody that's older.
Oh, okay.
Like, like say me or Ed. Would there be signs like maybe we lived through all our lives and we've always been complaining about this or that, and then one day you sit down and they're like, oh, have you ever been tested for sickle cell? I mean, does that ever happen? And then
not really.
Oh, because I know when I was younger, I had 2 people I knew that had sickle cell.
Oh, years ago,
young in
right?
their 20s.
Because they didn't always test people, but today they do test all babies now. When I was born, they didn't test, so I didn't know. I had to find out when I was in the military. That's how I found out, because I didn't even know I had the trait. The military sent me a letter and said, you have a fatal blood disease, go to the doctor now. I was like, what? So the doctor just said, have you ever had any pain?
So what year was it discovered?
So how?
Sickle cell.
Well, sickle cell has been around for maybe over 120 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been around a while. But they didn't test, and the doctor just said, oh, you just have the trait. You'll be fine. But pro athletes have died from the trait. I almost died from the trait having my 3rd child. So again, inaccurate information. They're not going to go back and try to do any type of, they tell you that, but it's not true, because we still have that SG. There's been so many pro athletes that has died from the trait.
So do you have to get a blood transfusion when they go in? Like, I know they get sick and they go in the hospital if you have sickle cell, if you have an episode. So do they have to have a blood? Like for me, if my blood cells were low, I had to get Neupogen shots in my leg for 6 months during chemo. So do they have to do that to get their blood cells up?
Well, a person that does nothing, like doesn't take any herbs, right? So a typical person with sickle cell, they have a pain crisis where they go in. What they do, standard, is they get fluids. They get morphine, and they get some type of antibiotic, because in sickle cell, if you get an infection, you can die.
Right.
That's what they're taught.
Right.
So that's what they give when someone go in with a crisis. Now, if your hemoglobin continues to drop, like 7, and then it's 6, and it's 4, and now it's 3, well, yeah, they'll give you a blood transfusion then. But if you can keep a stable hemoglobin, and if they can, do a CBC, and they can see that your blood is okay, which it's not, because you're in a crisis, right? That means your blood is stuck.
Right.
People still dying in the hospital.
Right.
Some people get blood transfusions and some don't. But typically that's what they'll do.
Well, I know if you can't produce red blood cells or white blood cells, you can pass away, because I know when I was in chemo, I couldn't get a paper cut or even a cuticle cut, because I couldn't produce my blood cells. Yeah, my immune system wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, because when you do chemo, it wipes everything. You don't even have an immune system.
Right.
Oh, yeah, see.
So that's the same for them, because they don't have an immune system if they don't have red blood cells, right?
Well, no. Now, sickle cell is different. Now, what kills their immune system is they're taking penicillin every single day. Every single day. And you can't take an antibiotic every single day, because it kills all the good bacteria in your gut, which is not healthy. And 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. So they get sick a lot because of that. Just a weak immune system, period.
So what have you done to help your son and your family battle their sickle cell?
So my son turned 1. He started having crises, hospitalized every 2 months. And then later that year, his body stopped producing red blood cells. He had to get blood transfusions. And then 2 months later, had to get another blood transfusion. So that's when I stood up and said, okay. That's when I read those scriptures in the Bible, how God has given us everything we need. And I just had to go out there and find it. And I just started Googling natural. After he suffered an entire year, I finally woke up. But I just started researching. And the first thing I found was like liquid chlorophyll. Because chlorophyll, it builds and boosts red blood cells and increases oxygen. It also raises hemoglobin. And I found things such as nattokinase serrapeptase, ginkgo biloba, and beetroot juice. And gave all this to my son. And 3 years went by, no crises.
Nice. Wow.
Is that like chlorella?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's
yes.
what I take.
So,
okay.
so chlorophyll is found in all leafy green vegetables. So whenever you eat dark green vegetables, you're eating chlorophyll. But the problem today with the food is not everything is GMO and sprayed down with pesticides and herbicides and Roundup, which is cancerous, and everything is so cancerous around us. We not really getting the amount of nutrients that we really need. That's why people are having to supplement just to be healthy.
So
unless you're buying 100% all organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, no. But most people I know, my clients, they can't afford to buy 100%, all the time. So, yeah.
Well, even if you buy organic, but if it was grown 5 years ago with pesticides in that same soil, is it still really organic?
Well, now, organic is supposed to be grown in organic soil. I mean, I don't know.
Is that not in the greenhouse and?
Ever.
Because I remember Dr. Sebi,
right?
I think he was saying something like people reproducing the vegetables and like seedless fruit and all that. And he said it's not going to have the same pH balance and it's not going to be as effective.
Well, I thought if it was seedless, it was fake,
Well,
right? It's modified, right?
But you know what? I still say when people buy organic, because I know several people. Just go and look at the documentary, The Truth About Cancer. There's been several people who has cured their cancer just by food. And if they're just buying all organic, well then obviously it's working, right? Now, my clients, I have to just tell them what supplements to take, because the people are not there with, they're not going to eat the raw foods every single day. They're just not there, but they'll take supplements. So I still think that there's some truth to organic food out there. Because I have several friends who are vegan, who are vegetarians, and they eat clean, organic all the time. And super healthy.
Yeah.
But I know when the other stuff out there that we're buying, I know that's complete trash. Complete trash. It's when I say that, it's too many chemicals.
Right.
Let me ask you about, because I don't eat really healthy at all, and sometimes I go into QFC or Safeway, and if I'm too lazy to walk 20 feet to the regular bananas, but I'm standing next to the organics, sometimes I'll just say I'm just going to grab a couple organic bananas. Is everything in a QFC that says organic legit, or a Safeway, or even when you're going through the organic section of Safeway or QFC, do you need to still be reading labels or something?
Yeah, you definitely still need to read labels. Because even like I've seen, I don't remember the brand, but I've seen like these veggie corn dogs, right?
Okay.
But when you look at the back, it's all these things and the ingredients that I don't know what that is. I don't know what that. Yeah, so you do really need to still read the labels just to be on the the safe side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was a good point that you mentioned, because some foods we can eat, like bananas. It has a thick coating, so I don't think it really matters if you get organic versus non-organic for a banana, because the skin is already so thick,
Okay.
Now, but like apples, like stuff with like plums and peaches, different things.
Grapes.
Pesticide.
Okay.
And there's a way you can clean it too by using apple cider vinegar, or there's organic spray wash that you can probably get some of the chemicals off. I don't know how much comes off, right? But
Interesting.
So if you're taking a lot of supplements, don't you have to drink a lot of water to preserve your kidney and liver?
Actually, the supplement's gonna heal your liver. Now, you don't want to just start going and taking anybody's supplement. You just can't go to Walmart and just pick up some stuff. You gotta know, and that's why I consult with people and I tell people order the good brands. These brands are closest to nature that you can get. It's no soy, there's no dairy, there's no non-GMO, gluten-free, organic. These are just really great ingredients. And I'm working on my own private label, so I'm having a hard time now.
Wow.
Yeah, fine. Because my clients, they're like, well, can I buy the supplements from you? And I have to say, no. But you can go to PCC or,
Why not? Why can't you just package them yourself with the little capsules and get a nice bottle and present a label? And if you need help, I can Shows.
Yeah, so I'm working on that, and I found a manufacturing company, and she said we can do D3, which D3 is critical, for $2.49. I was like, oh my God, that's a great price. Yes. So, but it wasn't all, organic and soy free.
Right,
yeah,
right.
So so I got to make sure I have one that is clean like that, because I don't want it, because then I have to practice what I preach.
Right.
Because the thing about a lot of fillers, it's just, not that it's gonna hurt you, but you may have to take half the bottle to get the benefit, right? Versus you just take 4 and then it works because it's all that one ingredient. It's not a bunch
of. So when you go to a vitamin store, they'll tell you like they have the chemical vitamins and they have the natural vitamins. So you can pick which one you want. The natural is going to be a little more expensive. Yeah, they've got so much.
I guess it's just like choosing a probiotic if it's in the refrigerator or pill form.
And I do the refrigerator because it's just, it's just best to get it out of the refrigerated section because it's more potent there.
So would you say when you're consulting with somebody that's new, what's your process? Like, say for instance that I came in and you really knew nothing about me. You just look at me and you're like, you're obviously overweight, right? That's what you're thinking when you're looking at me. Like, you're obviously overweight. You could use some lotion, that sort of thing.
You have inflammation in your body.
Do you basically say, I've got this list of 20 supplements and basically every human being needs all 20, so just take all 20? Or do you kind of cater it to my special needs, that sort of thing? Or what's your process?
So the process is people will go to my website and they'll go to my services, and whatever it is they're dealing with, whether it's arthritis, cancer, hypertension, you just select that service and then you set your date and pay for the consultation, and then it comes to me. And then what I'll do, just say I just had one 2 days ago for hypertension.
Okay.
Well, then I send questions back asking, what medications are you taking, what supplements are you taking, what's your diet like. If it's hypertension, I'll say, have you had your hormones checked? Because a lot of times men have hypertension. It could be various reasons. One, diet, of course. We know diet, of course, but we know stress, we know that. But it also can be your hormones, because when men get 35 or over, your testosterone start going down.
Right.
So if your testosterone's down, if your thyroid is off, it doesn't matter what you do until you get that back in balance. Nothing's going to really work right.
Is hypertension just like high blood pressure, or is that different?
Yes, same thing. Same thing. Yep.
So let me share a story. I was just talking with Ed the other day because he had called. He had some questions because a couple months ago I was diagnosed with diabetes. So, but what the issue was that I had been just because I'm getting older, I checked my blood pressure at like the Bartels, and I was like, and I said, call your doctor immediately, or some crazy thing like that, So I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack. Yeah, exactly. So I went down to the emergency room. I'm all panicking and stuff, sweating and stuff. And they get me in there and they're like, you're like 10 points over. It's not a big deal. They're like, you know what I mean? They're like, you don't need to panic. I was like, that's good. So they said, but we will put you on like some water pills, right? Because I was like, I was insisting, you got to give me something, right? Because based on what Bartels told me. So they're like, take these water pills. So I took the water pills, went home, and I got the pills, started taking them, and they didn't bother to tell me that I was going to dry me out, So I'm like, God, I'm so thirsty, right? So I go to QFC, and I literally bought like 3 gallons of grape juice and like a couple gallons of apple juice, and I literally drank them all in one night. I'm like, grape juice, whole gallon. I was so thirsty. So like the next day or two, I'm like, I could hardly even see. My eyesight was so blurry. I could look at somebody 3 feet away from me and not be able to recognize them. Just horrible. So I called the emergency room. I've gone blind. They're like, come in here. So I'm like, get down to the emergency. So I get so I'm driving. I did drive. I said I could see shapes. I know. So anyway, so I went there, right? And they're like, oh my God, your sugar level's 400. You've got diabetes, right? Because your sugar level's supposed to be like 90 or something, whatever. So I'm like, I've got diabetes. Give me some medication for diabetes. So then they put me on this. So then they put me on this diabetes medication. So I'm on this. I'm on this high blood pressure medication. I'm on this diabetes medication. Right, exactly.
Which is gonna lead to neuropathy later. But go ahead.
Okay, so I switched up my diet, right? So I'm only like eating like a cracker here and a little wafer here for like a week or whatever.
That's aluminum.
And only drinking water and stuff. So anyway, so then the next time I went in for a checkup, my diabetes numbers were like 112, 110.
But is that on the medication?
It was, but since then, even though I stopped taking the medication, I'm horrible. Don't do what I do. But anyway, so I've stopped taking the medication, and my numbers kind of stabilized on my diabetes.
Okay.
So the reason that my diabetes, why they put me on the medication was because my numbers were at 400.
Oh, yeah. Because you don't want to have
But that was because I drank 6 gallons of grape and apple juice. Exactly. So I'm saying all of this to say, don't put too much stock in the Bartell's thing. Talk to a specialist like Tamika and save yourself the trouble of getting put. Because, had I stayed on the diabetes medication and not changed my diet, just did it all strictly medication, who knows, I might be on a third medication or another medication, because if you're not working with somebody that really has a vested interest in you,
they're going to just... And how long you been taking the diuretic? The water pill?
Oh, the water pill? Oh, I took that for like 2 months. I stopped taking that too. Because they were like, I said, they were like, they're like, don't worry so much. I'm like super, if you tell me I'm going to die, then I'm going to run to the emergency room thinking I'm going to die. And that's what that machine did. It's like, hypertension, call the doctor or the emergency room immediately. And then I went down there. Maybe it just said consult your doctor. It might have just said consult your doctor. I tend to blow things out of proportion. I'm an artist.
Well, I can't believe you drove yourself to the hospital. That's some stuff
But, it's interesting you said the diuretic, because some of the side effects are weakness, light sensitivity, blurred vision, impotence, nausea, abdominal constipation, whatever, and it goes on and on and on.
So liver damage. What could you do for diabetes instead of take metformin and water pill? What could you do?
Okay, so this is what I want to show you guys. When you said you get a whole bunch of pills because you'll be taking all these supplements, but you know what, you guys? Perfect example. Let me show you this. So D3, being deficient in D3 alone leads to 17 different types of cancers, heart disease, hypertension, obesity, depression, Alzheimer's, MS, arthritis, gout, Parkinson's, diabetes, fatigue, psoriasis. So,
I believe that.
I'm saying that to say,
I believe it.
We are living in a society when we are infested with nothing but chemicals around us. Mm-hmm. So yes, you're right. Everybody breathing, we do need to take minerals, because minerals are the foundation of healing. That's the first thing. Then, when we have a good foundation, now we can absorb the nutrition, we can absorb vitamins, we can absorb herbs and all that stuff. But one of my clients, she's a diabetic as well, and consulted with her, just gave her the basics. Now, when I say the basics, I mean probiotics, D3, magnesium, B complex, and a CoQ10 if you're over 40, and iodine is so crucial. Now, she didn't even get the herbs for the pancreas to produce insulin, right? She didn't even get those. She just did the basics. For 1 month, went back to her doctor, A1C fell 2 points. Now that's huge. So you see, she could have just been deficient in D3. She could have been just deficient in iodine. We're so, because see, they have stripped everything. We take showers and don't you know the water we shower in is fluorinated? Right. That's cancerous. The water we're drinking is fluoridated. That's horrible. And y'all need to start brushing your teeth with Colgate and commercial toothpaste and start brushing your teeth with bentonite clay.
Man, I tried that bullshit, man. My mouth was so black, and I didn't
You tried what? You tried what?
A natural cold.
No. I said bentonite clay. I did not say charcoal.
Okay, write this down.
Listen, we're all of us here are going to try bentonite clay, and then at the next podcast, we're all going to give our reviews. Tamika won't be here, but we'll be respectful with our reviews.
Okay, everybody, rub your tongue on your teeth, and how does it feel? Smooth, like you just left the dentist.
Smooth with patches of.
You feel the patches.
Just a little bit though.
My teeth are smooth.
She probably cleans her teeth better than me.
Okay, but seriously, the bentonite clay, you guys, honestly, so fluoride, there was a study done in New Zealand by a dentist back in the 80s that proved fluoride causes fluorosis, gum disease, and all this other junk. Proved it.
Right.
Took it to the superiors. Poison. Took it to superiors.
They say don't swallow it.
Yeah.
They said don't use that, but bentonite clay, I have gum disease.
Oh.
So in 3 months, I'm going back to my dentist, and they know it. They know it. And she said to me, the reason I'm telling you this because I know you're going to figure it out. But bentonite clay is the only clay that will re-mineralize the teeth process.
So you just brush with it,
Yeah.
like the
you just brush
powder?
Just like
What
you do
about
with
that
baking soda.
stuff?
Where do you get it from? That's the question.
And add the natural
Vitamin Shop, Formica, Rainbow. I mean...
And it rinses the same way? You just rinse with water and spit it
just
out?
rinse it out. I have a video how to do it and everything. But when I tell you, it pulls impurities out of the mouth, all the heavy toxins,
And you brush your gums with it too, not just your teeth.
You put it on. You wash your hair with it. You shower with it. This stuff pulls toxins out of the body, you guys. It's awesome. It is amazing.
My gums were black from the chemo.
Oh yeah, bentonite clay. You would be amazed.
Bentonite
They're
clay.
getting
Reverse
better,
gum
though.
disease. It reverses gum disease. I mean, this stuff is amazing.
Yeah, the chemo fries you.
So you had said a couple minutes ago that a lot of the men that come to you, it's because of the hypertension.
But no, I have some men with high PSA levels, hypertension, arthritis. I've had a lot of arthritis.
Okay. And there's special supplements that you refer them to help with those areas.
So back to everybody's, because see, nobody takes anything. So have you guys ever taken vitamins? Look like you've taken vitamins.
So I mentioned the vitamins. So remember at the forum, I had mentioned to you that I took the type of vitamins, and you and your husband both like rolled your eyes, and you're like, oh my God. I said Centrum. I was like, I take Centrum Silver, and you and your husband were like,
for the record, that was not my husband. For the record,
I'm sorry.
That wasn't a friend.
Do you want me to edit that out, or are we going with the real thing here? We're sorry, okay, no edits.
Yeah, I just want to clear it up. That's all.
So the gentleman that you were with, I had mentioned,
that she invited to the.
The gentleman that you had invited. Was with you, and I had mentioned, but he seemed, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's David getting into some ish. I was not this time.
But so he was a good-looking gentleman, so I just assumed,
he had his stuff together.
Okay. So anyway, he didn't seem to be super excited about me taking Centrum either. So.
Oh yes. Oh,
and he
that's
told
a
me,
bedpan pill.
He said, "Hurry up and eat before the police come out." I said, I've been dealing with the police my whole life. See, when I was little, when I moved with my dad at 6, we had to eat the natural toothpaste, Tom's toothpaste in the 70s, and we ground all our own flour.
What?
And we couldn't. He used to drive all the way to the north end to get our water from a well up there every week.
Information all this time.
And my dad used to read all the ingredients of everything. And I remember my brother went to Boy Scouts trips, and I was one of those kids, like, I was the only girl on the block, so of course I wanted to go too.
Right.
So we went, and my dad came up and was like, "Yeah, they got hot dogs in there." My dad was like, "Hot dogs, you all gotta go home." So I didn't eat hot dogs till I was like older, but
well, your dad should have seen the no nitrate, no MSG
he
antibodies hot dogs.
That. And you know, like we had to have organic back then, and like I raised my hand with the welfare kids for free lunch. So my dad said they were poisoning me, and so he pulled me out of Leshai Public School.
Yeah,
in
they
the
are
4th
poisoning.
grade.
Yeah.
So I couldn't
based
eat.
on lunch.
Yeah,
just on lunch.
and took me into a alternative school that had organic, natural food,
That's awesome.
natural lunches. So he fixed
Amazing.
my butt real good. Yeah, with that. But so I've known, and so it's just a shock that I don't eat as healthy as I should. You know?
Yeah.
But you definitely, when you have a health scare, it really hits home, and you have to get back to the basics, really.
That's right.
And you see all those elderly people that live forever, it's like, man, they were like hanging chickens in the backyard and growing everything, and, you know, they just lived forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although, in fairness, I do remember reading an article on, who's the dude with the cigars? George Burns?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived to be 100 years old. I think he said on cigars and Coca-Cola.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, he probably did. But Tamika, you told us earlier that you're doing supplements in Africa to help
sickle cell.
Fight sickle cell. How does that work? And are you partnering with any doctors?
Yeah.
Or how is that going?
So, my story, after 3 years of no crisis with what I was doing with my son, I wrote my book, and my publisher said I should get a doctor to contribute to my book. But I'm like, no, they did not go to school for that, so rightfully so, they can't. But I said, well, let me try to maybe find a homeopathic that specializes in that. That'd be great. And so I kept looking, and I found Healing Blends Global, which I'm also the project manager for Healing Blends Global now. And we met back in 2013.
Right.
Because I'm like, wow, you can produce large quantities. We're going to Africa because millions are suffering over there. So
and Healing Blends is
Healing
Blends
BLENDS Global.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're in Florida, and they have Even Flow. So Even Flow is the natural supplement for sickle cell. And when I went to Africa, the doctor there, wanted to do a double-blind study. That was back in 2013, and we just finished the study like late last year. And the manuscript is being published now. So 100% of the patients on Even Flow for the entire study did not have a crisis. Did not have a crisis.
Wow.
And how many crises were they having before?
Every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks.
So what's in Even? What kind of supplements are in this product?
It's like 11 different herbs.
Okay.
Danqua, licorice, it's peony, it's Chinese herbs that people wouldn't even... maybe the only one you'll recognize maybe is Danqua.
Okay.
You've heard of that.
I've heard of it.
We call
I
it
know
the female.
licorice root because I use licorice root.
I have not heard of Danqua.
You have not?
I have not.
You've heard of Danqua, right?
I have.
Yeah.
Because I did licorice root, slippery elm, and plantains through my chemo instead of take 9 different pills. I took one with the 3 mixtures. Because I went to a naturopathic while I was going through it.
Okay.
So I know licorice is really a powerful herb. So
so it's a combination of 11 herbs, enzymes, and minerals.
Okay. All
so
natural.
It's just food. Yep, it's just food.
And are these organic?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so now we're having meetings and talks with the government and different hospitals, organizations, Ministry of Health over in Kenya now to get them, okay, we have the study now. So let's go ahead and get the supplement subsidized for the people so they don't have to die. So now we're, we're doing that now.
God bless you for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're saving lives. I mean, I guess you're giving people the information. It's up to us on whether we want to save our own life or someone we know by naturally battling all types of illnesses besides sickle cell, right?
Exactly. And all these different names of all this stuff it really stems from inflammation. That's all it is. Everything is just inflammation.
So right now you have a book out.
Yes.
So you got a book out, and so tell us the name of the book, and then you had mentioned that you're going to have a second book coming out.
Yes. So
touch base on both of those.
The name of my book is Sickle Cell Natural Healing: A Mother's Journey, and that's all about the journey that I took with my son who has sickle cell disease. And the next book I'll be writing in September of this year is haven't gotten the name of it yet, but it's going to be like a how-to. So all these various different ailments people come up with, headache, stomach ache, infections, pneumonia, things like that, and giving alternative natural things that people can do versus, running to over the counter or going to the doctor, but just natural things. Earache, some olive oil, and a couple of tea tree oil in the ear.
Right.
Goes away like that. Yeah.
Okay. And and anybody that wants to reach out to you, wants to find out more about you, can you hit us with a few options for doing that?
Yes. My website is www.ssnaturalhealing.com. And I'm also on YouTube. I am Everything Health with Tamika on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. And if you go to my website, I have all my social media platforms there. But
can you spell Tamika for the viewers just in case?
Yes,
they make sure they get the right person.
It's Tamika.
Great. And we'll put some links up at our website also. You can read about Tamika. We've got a couple different articles that we're going to have published at the website and in the hard copy magazine. So find out how she did at the forum last month. And again, you'll find the links to her various contact information. So we thank you for coming down.
Thank you. It was
and
great.
I'm sure we'll be talking more with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
South End gets the money till the money don't exist till they step